Welcome back. Those of you who are new, no, the house is not on fire. I am smudging the cards and I have cleansed the house. So those of you who are new, you will not see the smoke in 5 seconds because I'm going to get rid of it. Otherwise, I'm going to get hay fever. Be back in 5. Hopefully it clears out soon. We are here to do the Scorpio read. I'll just turn the chat on for those of you who are joining. A very warm welcome. We're going to check in with the energy this morning for Scorpio for the Cancer eclipse, moving into the Capricorn frequency with the eclipse also. Now, the download I've got psychically this morning, especially since I'm actually doing this read of the actual Cancer eclipse, better late than never, right? I'm feeling really interested that this was the video that popped up for this transit, that I happen to be recording it on this day, because already some of the experiences I have been experiencing has been a bit of intensity, and that's with people, places and things, a bit of anxious energy, not so much necessarily me observing it perhaps, but tapping into the vibration, yes. Many of you might be actually feeling this energy, okay? Yeah. So it's muggy, is it? Well, that's quite common with the Neptune retrograde, especially being that Pluto's actually retrograde. You tend to have more seismic activity, more earthquakes, more tsunamis, more cyclones, and tropical and very, very cold, wet weather. Obviously, with the eclipse, it's going to intensify it. So pay attention to the weather over the next 2 weeks. And generally, it's 2 weeks either side, 2 to 3 weeks either side of an eclipse. So it's going to be pretty relevant for the whole month, really, moving into August as well. So we can potentially have more activity happening around then. Our ascension symptoms is going to be pretty heavy. We can be potentially in, you know, some energies of trigger points with this. But I am feeling as though you guys are watching something kind of go down. You're watching something go down and you're seeing how it's going to be. Watching and waiting. You know how something's going to go. And tell me if this is a bit bouncy. I'm sorry about it last night with the door being closed. I'm getting an internet extender. Yeah, it cuts it off a little bit. So hopefully the actual coverage of it is coming through a lot clearer. Interesting that I said you psychically know what's going to come, because the first card that's dropped out is the card of being psychic. You intuitively know something from the past is coming back to be looked at. And it is very relevant to the transit, because with the eclipse, a lot of that energy can be relating to 2009. And it's going to be a transformative point after the eclipse season, moving potentially over 1 year. It's going to be a transformative state for this point moving forward. And this is for everyone collectively. Let's see what's coming through for you guys. You guys want to free yourself from a situation, okay? Because the next card come up is freedom. Wanting to have freedom at the heart of the matter. Wanting to be uniquely yourself. Feeling somehow the situation or situations in your life need to get back into balance. You are reflecting back and wishing you knew what you know now. You're also looking at a point where you intuitively know something from the past is coming back to be revisited. Some of you are trying to look at the lessons. You might be being super critical of yourself, that energetically perhaps you haven't actually learned a lesson, and you're fearing that you're going to be really reliving it again. But I do feel that you know completely you have control over any situation that you're in at the moment. It is causing you stress. And you know what's coming. You know something that's coming up is going to be addressed, but you're also stressed about relating to it and dealing with it. This can be on your side of the fence or other people's side of the fence, and things you're physically witnessing. It has been a long time coming, and again, I am saying from January onwards, there was an area that you wanted to address and wanting balance in. You knew that certain things would be coming up. You also knew that this conclusion would come about. But at the same time, some of these scenarios are outside of your control. So you've been in assessment of the situations. Now I'm going to pull an energy per eclipse, and I'm also going to pull a karmic energy connected to those eclipses for you guys to have a look. And then we're going to go into the love reading and look at your general energy. I just feel you guys know something's coming. How do I put it? Trust your intuition with the things that you have been getting in a sense of a psychic download, because I feel you're in your truth about it. You may feel that maybe you need confirmation separately. Some of you may try to gain confirmation separately. It may give you even more clarity that, in fact, yes, you're in alignment and the download you're getting is, in fact, correct. I feel that you have a backup plan. And you also know that this energy is going to shift twice. And some of the cards are having this energy coming through in many of the card readings. And it would be advised to go and look at the Cancer video, because that in some shape or form, especially the general sense connected to the eclipse, will have an undertone of energy you can look at. And I've already recorded that, so it's available to look at now. Have a look at that, because even when I do the Capricorn energy, there will be undertones of that coming through as well, of what we're looking at. Moving into the 16th onwards, you're going to find that things that potentially are coming up between the 2nd moving forward are going to shift and change yet again. So none of us really collectively are going to be completely cemented into a complete reality of what it's going to be, potentially until August, but you're going to have more movement by August. So there can be various shifts and plans, shifts and ideas, surprises that come up, but you're on point when it does come to the energy of what you're intuitively feeling. You're becoming very receptive to the environment of the transits now. So your trigger points are going to be coming up, and you may be questioning yourself, are you out of alignment? Yes and no. You know, all of us have a lot of base chakra coming up at the moment. Again, we do have energies of lower back pains, potentially headaches. Sometimes the throat chakra is coming through, but it's not your energy, it's other people's. And it's more the people directly you're tapping into that aren't communicating effectively, that aren't communicating their truth. And you feel it's not on your side of the fence to say anything. It's external sources and energy. So when you're trying to communicate, you feel potentially at times it's on deaf ears. But it's their transmutation and change that you're actually receptively, energetically connecting to. With the Cancer moon, you know what your rights are. You know what your entitlements are. That, again, and it can be family-related dynamics. So some of you may be dealing with a family member. Some of you may be looking at your roots, at your birth, at your childhood, looking back and regressing back, wondering, you know, who you are to the core, but definitely knowing who you are to the core. A lot of you may be in hermit mode, and it doesn't have to be that you're awake, but internally this is what's going on. You're in meditation about all these subject matters. So a lot of energies from the past can be coming up in your third eye. A lot of collective consciousness, but it almost feels as though you're in your awareness of the reasons why certain things have happened. You're also in awareness that had you known before, you would have operated differently. So you can't turn time back, but we can proceed forward. You're not moving forward without tools. So you're able to take these things forward. There is a family-related dynamic that you're needing to address. You also know what you're made of, and you know what you're able to and what you're not able to do. You also may be witnessing some people healing, but you also know that your healing is as relevant and as important as well. Now, the karma connected to this is once you're in alignment of a belief system of who you are, what you're made of, and the adversity you've been through, what's going to happen in a positive karmic sense is you've got the Star card. So all good things come to those who wait. There are good things coming, but you're manifesting these things, and it feels those of you who were in balance inside of you, you're going to turn into the queen or the king you really are. You're taking your power back. You have the key to a situation. Some of you have really been tying up loose ends when it comes to your finance. At the same time, it's like bringing things full circle, but having the key to a situation. So if you're concerned about a financial domain, a home, accommodation, finances, and taking that situation forward, I feel you've got the key somehow. So the power's on your side. Regardless of if something's going to be taken from you, it's going to be given back to you. So it's still going to turn out in the better in the end. So as much as you feel you may have lost, what you're going to gain is so much more. So please don't be fearful of that. Some of you may be leaving old connections. Some of you are concerned and tuning into an old connection and what they're doing, and it could be with a secondary energy, sorry, third-party energy. It doesn't feel cheating or anything to that degree. It just feels thinking of a different path and thinking of two paths. It could be even if you're dealing with karmic energies, thinking of that area but knowing who you are to the core. So it's like you're proceeding forward regardless. It's not directly impacting you. The reason it's not impacting you is if you can anchor your energy in, what's actually happening is you're going back into the truth and the belief of who you are. You're removing the ego in the given connection. Try and trust in the process of this. There can be some things coming up. It may be legalities, contracts, tying up of loose ends connected to exes for some of you. And this can be something you're visually seeing with another person, but it's happening around you or directly with you. Regardless, however this is going to be directly for you, you've got the Star card. So a lot of your manifestations of what you feel aren't happening. They are, but not in the way you thought. And that's very much with the transit of the Cancer and the Capricorn nodes, the Cancer and the Capricorn eclipse. How you think it's going to be, it will shift and change multiple times by the end of the month. So try and stay flexible with that frequency and with yourself. Try not to be hard on yourself, but understand that you are going to get the best scenario out of this in the very end. With the Capricorn energy coming through with the moon, your advice is to stay extremely centered because, as I said, there are going to be some changes happening. By this point, you can feel more grounded. There will be more clarity. There's also going to be a time where the energy of the astrology shifts and there is a burn-off effect where clarity comes to all involved. You may be reassessing a situation you're committing into. So it might be even commitments in general. It may be a shift happening with another person. It might be assessing the dynamic before proceeding forward, but you're keeping the communication to yourself. You know, you're anchoring, you're assessing things at a very high level, but at the same time, this sphere of commitment energy coming through, it's because you will know if it's an alignment. So there can be a shift in a situation and you're having to go back to the table and renegotiate. You're having to go back to the table and look at it and see whether it's now in alignment with who you are. It's got nothing to do with an inadequacy inside you. It's got to do with the shift in the subject matter and what the thing is going to be. You may need to, you know, something's not going to be working. So it's going to show you in a sense. I feel you're going to proceed forward. It's either on your side of the fence or another person's side of the fence. Something will be out of balance. And until that balance comes through and the renegotiation comes through, I feel there will be a temporary delay while you're proceeding through that energy. But by about the 20th, you will already start feeling the energy shifting. So don't feel it's set in stone. Even if this person is quite detached and you're directly dealing with a person and they're feeling detached, it's only going to be very temporary. At the heart of love for you guys, you've got the Page of Swords. Okay, more communication coming through, but really moving into a vibration of your truth, be it you're with this person or not. I'm feeling if you're wanting a masculine to step into their own energy, it's saying they are, but it's at the very early stages. It's not because they're not in that vibration. It's due to external situations. Some of you very separately may have dealt with an immature person and you're looking at it. This could be connected to children. This could be a past tense person. This could be a current person you're directly dealing with. They're very playful at heart, but they keep their cards quite close to their chest. But I do feel more communication coming in relation to what is and what isn't working. On your side of the fence, you may be just really anchoring your energy in and going, look, you know, if it is, it is. If it isn't, it isn't. Not enough information coming through yet. Really needing to gain more information, neither here nor there, but still really processing and working on yourself. You want fresh energy coming in. You want this young energy coming in. Some of you that have young children may be focusing on them, but you need to focus the energy directly back on yourself. You need to do the things that makes you feel quite happy. And there can also be a feminine energy that is supporting you through this transformation. On their side of the fence, how they're feeling towards you. This has been coming up a lot for counterpart energies, okay, where they're physically feeling as though they're dealing with too many things, and it is quite an overwhelming energy. So it's not directly connected to you. It's in general, they do have a lot on their plate, so they're not quite being themselves. And this will make complete sense with the Capricorn energy coming through, that there's a shifting of the puzzle. There's a shifting of the pieces. No, there's no smoke and mirrors. It's not about smoke and mirrors. The energy of what's coming through. And look, honestly, I'm on both sides of the fence. Obviously, I work with my clientele. Yes, I'm a twin flame. I'm also a psychic medium. So, you know, if you wanted to just tap directly into masculine energies, you know, a lot of us in our third eye and directly what we see, we are feeling they're not doing work. That's actually not true. A lot of what is going on, when you've had such a karmic cycle going through, and a lot of us were purging last year, we all purge in different ways. The delay and the lag situations has very much been the factor that these wounds that are coming up for them are being addressed. They're in their consciousness about what they need to do, but they also have a lot on their plate energetically. A lot of them don't directly express it. They internalize it. Yet we as feminines are the expressors, which is the moon energy coming through with the Cancer energy. The Capricorn energy with the nodes is very much the accountability, the black and white, you know, getting things done, detaching to get shit done, so to speak. So it can feel that way. And there are the two moons coming up, obviously, that we're focusing on at the moment. And it is a lot of work. It's a lot of things they're directly working through. It's not personal towards you. You still will take it personal, but it's not personal towards you. There is a lot of lack of romance at the moment, okay? So the lack of romance is due to the 3D density. Definitely with the fives showing up with how many people are in the chat and how many people are liking. I appreciate the likes because it circulates the video. Fives denote change. So the changes are at hand, and we're definitely seeing a lot of sevens. We're also seeing a lot of dual numbers again, signs and synchronicities. The changes are happening, but we're tapping into the energy of, you know, how to shift that puzzle and how to get it moving. It's a temporary energy. But there are some tower moments happening, and it can be on both sides of the fence, really, but it's to transform the connection. That'd be right. Now he's calling me. Okay, on your side of the fence, you guys have a lot of responsibility. You feel you've been in your masculine frequency, trying to get tasks done, feeling like you've been left out in the cold, dealing with it, regardless of being in a connection or not. They're trying to deal with their heart chakra. So there may be some unfair situations happening around them where some of their hopes and dreams didn't come full circle. And that's not because of you. That is because from childhood onwards, the blockages spiritually in the heart chakra was not in alignment. There is going to be communication coming in. And when it does come to finances, there's a delay in that situation. It will change after after the Cancer moon. So the meditation, looking at it from a different perspective, you're going to do it in both moon cycles because there's going to be two shifts happening with that cycle. That can even be abundantly, energetically investing in it or investing in future situations in the way you want to go. With work domain and anything directly you're working towards or direct employment, some of you are super fatigued. Some of you are like, am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? It's got to have both energies balanced. Again, it can be the ascension symptoms, so don't be hard on yourself. Some of you are going to have a little bit of downtime, and it does denote during this Cancer transit that there could be pockets of 2 to 3 weeks where you're a bit lackluster, where you could be on holidays or you're taking time out. This is what the energy is coming through for that, so that you can get to a state where you can recoup and heal, because we were having ascension symptoms. With family-related dynamics, you're going to have to stay calm, cool, and collected. There can be some intense situations coming up. You will cut to the chase and you will have the clarity about it. But it's going to be changing, chopping and changing. And again, if you want me to tune directly into your energy psychically, the link is below. The unseen of what you're not seeing. You may be feeling triggered. You might be feeling jealousy that other people are, having a more balanced life. But I feel this is more coming towards you, because you're having, it can be a lot of people around you that are very jealous of you. A lot of people that have ego in relation to how easy your life is, and you're thinking, my life ain't easy. Try to detach from those. There has been a lot of aggression in the last 3 weeks being transmuted, a lot of trigger points. So it can be frustration to do with feminine energies, frustration to do with codependent frequencies, just in general, those kind of undertones of those energies, and the imbalance in factors are really coming through. So this Cancer energy, it can be a topical energy that we're directly dealing with. And Mars really is doing a transit where it's swapping signs. Now, I'll try and find where I wrote it down, because there is this ongoing conversation Mars is having with us to the end of the year. I'll try and find it. Here, between the 23rd of June to the 9th of August, it's in Cancer. Now, again, we will be having subject matters of family, emotions, nurturing, who our tribe is. Mars moves into Leo by the 10th of August, and this is really where some of the Leo energy starts coming in before the end of this month, where it moves over to September. So that strength that we have to actually manifest a lot of our goals. You look at Mars as the planet of war. So it's the fight and flight, but it's taking on the energy of the Zodiac signs. We've then got the 26th of September through to the 10th of November. It's moving into Virgo. So with that, it's going to be, accountability, but at the same time, the black and white of situations. Give me the truth. I need the reality of it. Show me, or I don't believe you. Give me the reality. Not Neptune energy. I'm not going on a win here. It's like not willing to gamble, really not taking major risks, really getting to a point what you're fighting for is going to be based on a reality situation, not a pipe dream. Then from the 11th of November to the 25th of December, it's moving into Libra, which will be looking at romance and looking what to fight for in your romantic life, looking where to balance things in your romantic life. And then by the end of the year, the 26th of December onwards, it's in Scorpio. And what are we doing right now, Scorpio? And that's going to be interesting, because that's all the hidden truths and the things coming up from the underground. Definitely a very psychic energy, very intuitive energy. So, we're ending the year out with the Scorpion energy. So quite relevant when you look at the transit of what we're moving towards, and obviously there's other planets doing other dynamics, but alone with the Mars frequency of what we're fighting for, plus when you're getting triggered, look at your Aries, look at the traits and the, on the higher realm, the positive aspects of each zodiac sign. On the lower realm, the demise of those zodiac signs. And then when we look at the transits, almost take on that collective energy. So with Chiron being in our womb sense, it's in Aries at the moment. So taking on the higher qualities of it, and then in trigger point, actually looking at what potentially those lower qualities are that comes through with that Aries frequency. So you can check in with yourself and you can see whether you're operating within that frequency and owning that vibration. Hi, Gina B. Well, I'm sorry I'm going to have to leave the house because my TF needs a bit of support today, and I will be back shortly. He's got a major appointment happening today, so I'll be back very shortly after I make my phone call, and we will do the next video, providing I have to run. The next one will be Pisces. Okay, again, if you're wanting a booking, link is below. I love you heaps. Thank you very much for liking the video. And I'm sorry I had to cut it short. I love you all.